Hi, my name is Tawana Lynn. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope that you enjoy it. This is a different type of video for me. I normally do makeup tutorials. That's what I normally do. But I want to start including my life, what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with, how am I growing my business, what's going on with my business, everything to kind of help someone, because this journey is not easy for nobody. Figuring out, what you're doing, how you're going to do it, it's hard. And I want to be, when I started my channel, well, I started years ago, but when I came back last year, I said that I wanted to be a light for this world, a light for, for people. And I can do that through makeup. I can do that through talking about a lot of different things. I search YouTube for a lot of things, a lot of videos, a lot of information, and sometimes I find it, sometimes I don't. So I want to be the person to just be me. I want to be me. I want to be genuine, be true to myself as I start this YouTube journey. So one of the ways that I'm being me and being true to myself is to talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about, especially on YouTube. And that is divorce. I am going through a divorce currently at this moment. It's something people don't talk about. It's very sensitive, but I feel like it's needed. When I first was going through my divorce, I was trying to find all types of different things to help me cope with going through divorce, and there's really not a lot of things, it's not. So I want to, if I can, like I said, my goal is to be a light in this world. So if I can encourage somebody, if I can push somebody to keep going, if my testimony can be something to help somebody along the way, then that's what I'm here for. I fulfill my duty. So I'm going to talk about divorce, things about divorce, and what you go through and how you can kind of help yourself get through it. I'm still going through it. I'm not at the end, but I do want to share what I have discovered along the way. So just a little background. I got married in 2016, and last year me and my husband separated. We are going through the divorce process right now. When we separated last year, we never got back together, and we're not going to get back together. So I am a Christian, and if you are a Christian, a lot of times you have to deal with the fact that God doesn't believe in divorce. That's said a lot in the church. Oh, God doesn't believe in divorce. Divorce is not something, the Lord wants. The Lord wants you to work your marriage out. The Lord says that your vow is for life. That's what you hear a lot in church. And I hear that a lot. I have heard that a lot. But, there's some times that God actually does tell you to leave. He really does. And that's what happened in my situation. Me and my husband was having issues with our marriage, and I did a fast. I did a fast where I prayed to God. I fast and I said, Lord, I need you to give me direction for my marriage. I need to know where you want me to go, how you want me to do it. I need you because I cannot do it on my own. I need you to help me. And I did a fast, and I started on a Sunday. And by that Saturday, God gave me my answer. God told me or showed me. He didn't necessarily tell me. He showed me that I needed to get out of my marriage. God showed me. He made something happen that was like, boom, billboard in my face. Boom, you have to go. And it was difficult, but it was something that I asked God to do and I prayed for, and He showed me. And from that day, when He showed me that, I left and I haven't went back, and I'm not going back. So I said that to say that, yes, it is taught in Christianity to stay with your husband, work your marriage out, but there are situations where God can tell you to leave. So, for sure, regardless, before you ever leave your husband, your wife, before you divorce anybody, you need to pray and you need to ask God for direction. Ask Him for direction and for Him to guide you. That's what you got to do. That's what I did, and He guided me. So, He told me to leave. That was the day I left. Now what? So, going through divorce it's a very, like I said, it's a very difficult situation. But, you can get through it. This is just my personal experiences. I want to get this disclaimer. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I'm none of those. I am none of those things. This is just my personal experience, what I have been going through and what I have went through when it came to my divorce. So one of the number one things that you deal with while you're in divorce is emotions. Your emotions, you go through an emotional roller coaster. Like, I don't even know if I can even say a roller coaster. It's like a roller coaster times 3. Like, the 3 worst roller coasters you can think of, put the 3 of them together, and that's the emotions you're going to go through. You're going to go through so many emotions. It's really, really, it's really sad. For me, my first emotion was my first emotion was actually, I think I was numb. I was really numb. I was disappointed. My very first emotion was disappointment. And I remember I would just cry. I wouldn't cry like all day, all the time, but I would just, like, if I think about something, I would just cry. Because I was disappointed. I was disappointed that my marriage didn't work. You can say I did marriage the right way. I didn't stay with my husband. We didn't shack. We didn't live together until we got married. We didn't have children until after we got married. We were married for 2 years before we even had a child, so we took the time to get to know each other. We went to church every Sunday. Like, we did, quote unquote, society would say I did it the right way. So I was completely disappointed when my marriage failed. I felt very, very sad. I was very sad because, what I thought life was, it was no longer going to be. And that was very sad for me. Like I said, I'm not a crier, but I did cry quite a bit. I did cry. And my main thing, my main sadness was for my son. That my son, the institution of family for my son, he was not going to see. He was not going to grow up with his mom and his dad in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, being together, being a family. And that was very sad for me, because you think about statistics, and they say, in statistics, black families, most boys are raised by single mothers, single parents. And I did not want my child to be in that category. I didn't want anybody to see him like that. So I was like, I don't have to worry about that. Me and his daddy gonna be together. Me and my husband gonna stay together. We gonna work this out. My son not gonna be in that category. And then it ended up happening. So I was like more sad for him, because I grew up with my parents, both of my parents, so I don't know how it feels to not have your parent, but I don't want him to go through life thinking that, what happened, where's my daddy, why my mom and daddy couldn't be together. Like, I don't want him to go through life thinking that. So not only my disappointment, but the disappointment of my child was all in my head. And then I went to being angry. I was pissed. I was so mad at him, because I was like, you caused this. You made us not, you made us not work out. You made us, it was your fault that we not together. Now my life got to be messed up. Now I got to go through all of this because you didn't want to do right. I don't want to talk to you. You did this to me. You did that to me. Oh, I was pissed. He couldn't call me. He couldn't text me, because every text message was, you did this, you did that, don't call me, don't text me. I was pissed. And at the moment, that anger inside of me, like, it literally was like rage, because I was so angry because of the failed marriage. Like, I was pissed. I was like, you just could have just done right. If you did right, we wouldn't be in this situation. But looking at that, it takes two people to make a marriage work. So yes, he did what he did, but I have to be willing to accept that I took a part in some of that as well. Now, I didn't do as much as he did, but I'm not saying I was perfect either. So I went to being angry. Then I went to having that guilt. Having that guilt, like, oh, it's my fault. Oh, I did it. Oh, if I would have just did this, then he wouldn't have done this, and then we would still be together. If I would have just been nice to him that day and not said nothing, then he wouldn't have got upset, and then we wouldn't have had an argument, and then it would have been better. And then I went to, oh, well, now JT's gonna hate me as a parent because I didn't want to stay with his daddy, and I took his daddy away from him, and now it's my fault. So I went through the guilt. I went through that. And then after going through the guilt, then along with the guilt, then you start thinking, well, maybe I should work it out. Maybe I should, go back. Maybe we should fix it. Maybe we should do this. Maybe it could get better. So that guilt led me to that. And I never forget when I had that thought, I instantly said, God, to want to remember, God is the one who showed you that what you needed to do. So now you're going to say that you don't want to do what he told you to do, or you're going to really be disobedient after he told you what to do? Then I was like, oh, I can't do that. No, I'm going to have to stick to what God told me. One day I'm going to talk to y'all. So me and God, we like, that's like my homie. I don't talk to him like he's just this grand almighty wizard or whatever. I don't talk to him like that. I talk to him straight up like we homies. He my homie, we homies. So that's how I talk to him. I'll be like, look, now look, God, blah 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 blah. And he be like, oh, that's what you feeling? Oh, you feeling like that? Oh, okay, so you just gonna do what you want to do knowing what I already told you. And then I'll be like, well, I ain't saying that I'm trying. Like, that's literally how we talk. So when I was like, well, maybe I can go back, and he was like, you gonna really be disobedient like that after I told you what to do? So then I had to be like, you know what, you right, I'm gonna just go ahead and stay over here. So then after that emotion, I go to, peace. I feel peace, at peace for what happened, what state I'm in, and it's peace and calmness. So, like I said, you go through all these different emotions, and then you get to a point to where it's like you have a new reality. Your new reality is different. For me, my new reality, I moved back with my parents. Which means that now, me, my baby, we live in one room with my parents. My parents' house, I'm here. I have a bed to sleep in. I have place for some of my clothes, but not all my clothes, not all my shoes, not all my stuff. But, I'm making it work. So that's new for me. Not having my own space. Not being able to, if I want to be alone, I can't be alone. It's always a house full of people here. I want to do some things with my child, have him in his own bed by now. I can't do that because me and him have to sleep in the bed together. It's just, a lot from my living situation, but that's my new reality. Also, being a single parent, that's a new reality that I have to face. Being able to now having to coordinate everything, co-parent everything. Oh, can I have him this weekend? You gonna get him this weekend? Or you gonna help pay for daycare? Can you buy this? Can you get this? Are you, then we running into holidays. Are you gonna have him for Christmas? I'm gonna get him for Christmas Eve. Like, that's gonna be difficult. Different for me. Not difficult, but different for me. So just for me, being a single parent was something that I never, ever, ever thought I would be. Which is why I waited so late to have children until I was married, because I did not want to be a single parent. But it happens, things happen, and that's just my new reality. And then another reality, or a hard pill that I had to swallow, is broken expectations. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Broken expectations. Whew. When you go into a marriage, you have expectations. You have the way that you think that your marriage is going to go. And you soon realize that those expectations are not good for your marriage, because then you're having your marriage to this standard or this quota or this bar that you and your spouse never even talked about. Y'all didn't talk about this bar. It's just this bar that you have in your head and that you expect your marriage to be. And then when it doesn't turn out to be that way, then now you're upset and you're angry and you're mad. But if you just didn't have expectations, then you really could figure out your marriage as you go. So for me, my expectation was that, like I've already said, I was going to be married. I was never going to be a single parent. Me and my husband was going to stay together forever, and we was going to raise our children, and we was going to be happy. That was my expectation. But now that expectation is broken. It's not there. So I had to deal with giving up that expectation. I never forget, one time I was with my dad and I cried, and he was like, well, baby, what's wrong? And I was like, I didn't sign up for this life. And he was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I didn't sign up to be a single mom. I didn't sign up to be alone and get divorced. I didn't sign up for that. And his answer, and my dad is just, he's so wonderful. He was like, well, baby, I know you didn't sign up for that, but sometimes that's how life goes. Two people have to be willing to do things in order to make it work. And he was like, your husband, he's just something that he's just not trying to do. And nothing against him, no bad feelings, nothing against him. It's like, y'all, that's just how it is. And when he told me that, I was like, okay. Because he was right, And I'm not speaking bad on my ex-husband, none of that. I wish nothing but the best for him. I would never speak ill on him. Never speak ill on him. That's not what I'm about. But we were just in two different places in our life, and that's just, I guess that's the best way I can explain it. So that's kind of how, what you'll feel. You may feel more. You do have your different stages. I kind of talked about that already, of the different stages that you go through in marriage. Now, the last part of the video, I want to give you five wonderful tips that could help you while you're going through your marriage. Number one, don't blame yourself. Do not blame yourself for your failed marriage. Yes, there are things that you could have done better. Yes, there are things that your spouse could have done better. Yes, there are things that y'all could have done. But at the end of the day, this is the reality. Don't blame you. Don't blame your spouse. If you want to blame anybody, blame each other equally. Blame each other equally, but don't put that burden on you that it was you and your fault of why your marriage failed. Number two, do not suppress your emotions. I am not a crier. I don't cry. Well, I cry sometimes, but I'm not an emotional crying person. When I first was going through my divorce at the very, very beginning of the separation, I was crying. I was crying a lot. I ain't even gonna lie. I was crying a lot. Like I said, I went from crying to being mad to angry, all of them emotions that I felt, I needed to feel those. I needed to let all those emotions come out so that I can go through my healing process. So, do not suppress your emotions. Just let it out. If it's better for you to let it out with a friend, like I have a friend, I have two friends. I have more than two friends, but in this situation, my two friends, Courtney and Tish, that's my girls. My two friends, they, we worked together during all of this, and they literally were my emotional support. They would literally, if I wanted to cry, if I was mad, if I was angry, if whatever I was feeling, they let me get it out. And they didn't judge me. They didn't look at me crazy. They just let me do it. Now, I do have my sisters. I mean, with my sisters, I could do that too. But honestly, you spend more time with people at work than you do anywhere else. So they just were there for me daily as I was going through all of my different emotions. Number 3, find what makes you happy. Go back to realizing what makes you happy. If it's something that you used to do before you got married and now you don't do it anymore, figure that out. Find something. If it's, quiet time, if it's doing pottery, it's baking, cooking, doing makeup. That's me, girl. Doing makeup. Any of those things, whatever makes you happy, find that thing that makes you happy. Because when you are going through all of these things, you need that one thing that is going to bring happiness, even if it's for a moment. Because you need those small moments of happiness in the midst of your sadness, your anger, your guilt. You need that. Of course, if you have children, your children do make you happy. They do help you deal with that. But that little thing is going to help you. Alright, number 4, being on your support system. My support system is my parents, my mom, my dad, my sisters. They are my support system. Of course, my other family, they have been very supportive for me through this process also. But lean on your support system or your group. Whoever it is, it could be your coworkers, it could be your friends, your family, your church group, anybody. Just find your support system and lean on them. You need all the love, the support that you need during this process, because it is hard. That's why it's so much to get divorced, because it is hard. You need help. You need help. I can't say it again. You need help. And number 5, just know that it will get better. Keep going. Go through day after day after day. Go through emotion after emotion after emotion. Let all of those things just play out and just keep going. And eventually, one day, you're going to be better and better. You're going to get happier and happier. And you're going to get more peace every day. That's where I'm at. It has been a year. Yeah, about a year, a little over a year since we've been separated, and I am at peace. I'm at peace. I am happy. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy that I'm able to get back to me of who I was, to enjoy the things that I love. So, those are my 5 tips for getting you through this divorce. And that's the end of the video. It was a little bit lengthy, but I kind of wanted to just sit down and talk. So I hope you enjoyed it. If I was able to help you, just I want to encourage you to keep going and keep moving, and it's gonna get better. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm going to really encourage you and wish you the best on this journey. I will keep you guys updated as I go through this journey. If you want more videos like this, or you want more, info, questions, anything, just give me a comment. Put a comment down below. Let me know. Other than that, I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.